Hey, I'm Kevin. Today I wanted to talk about Goodkin projectors, something we used in the past and many people haven't seen one lately. So let's get into it. I'll go down in my basement here and I'll show you how it works. Here it is, the Goodkin Model C projector. I'll give you a good look. It's a big, heavy metal piece. So what happened back in the past was much different, especially for the younger folks who didn't live through it. Back in the 70s, we didn't have copiers that enlarged, and we certainly didn't have computers. So what did you do if you wanted to reproduce something? You'd flip through a magazine, find an image you wanted, and cop it, which is what I'm going to do. Get a couple pieces of tape, bring it to the other side, and put it up here on your artboard. So this is essentially how it works. You would take your artwork or your photograph or whatever you want to reproduce and tape it to this board here, and you would tape it upside down, because what's happening is this artwork is being projected through this lens and down onto your artboard. So you have these lights here, they're illuminating this, and you're gonna crank this board forward and back till you get the focus and size that you want. So let's go over here, see what we can see. Have to turn the lights out or else we won't see anything. And then we have curtains here. It's just so if you're in a busy studio and there's other people working, you can make your area dark. Now what I'm going to have to do is crank this forward. You can see it's coming closer. And our image is coming in sharp. So now you notice that this is right side up because this lens here inverts the picture. Now you could work upside down if you want. That's always fun. Another option is the crank here operates the table. Now, if you notice as I turn this, it's out of focus, but it's getting smaller. So let me just put this back in focus. Now you can see I have a smaller image. But for the purposes of what we're doing, let's go back up. The lens is going up. There we go. That's pretty good, actually. And with your lights out, you're going to be able to see a little bit better what you're doing. Now, it's not perfect, but I can definitely make a tracing of the people standing here. And I'm working in pencil. Basically, you can use any medium you feel fit. Sometimes I'll use a marker if I'm just trying to transfer something quick. But you can actually work from this and do it as a rendering. You can do color, you can do the different values. He's got a tie here. What I forgot to do, I was going to tape this down. This paper should actually tape down so it doesn't shift, because once you shift it, now you're not in alignment anymore. Anyway, if I shut the light off, I can check my drawing just to see how I'm doing. And that's what you do. And you go on and you trace whatever pieces you want. You can trace the wheels and the car and go through the whole thing. Sometimes you just need a quick drawing to enlarge, and then you actually finish your artwork on an easel or on the wall or however you're doing it. But you get your basic points, whether you're going to render it or just do a quick transfer like that. Now the other aspect is, if I bring this all the way back again, I'll show you. behind here, there's like a hidden box, and this actually comes out. There's a light bulb there. So the light bulb turns on, these lights turn off, and you can put a transparency here. And what I mean when I say that is like either a clear cellulose piece with artwork on it, or something that would resemble a 35mm slide, and that will illuminate and transfer that down to the table there. And it's got a lot of versatility. You can take a postage stamp and make it really large. Like I said, transparencies. It's a lot of fun. It's the old school way of enlarging things by cranking it on the chain and enlarging or reducing and coming away with some decent artwork. So this is part of the advertisement for the Goodkin projector. It's a Model C. This is the setup. You have a stand with curtains and a place to, like a desk to work from. This is where you'd actually place your artwork. You would tape it upside down. And there's two lights inside this box illuminating your artwork or your image. And it would transfer that through the lens and project it down onto this little artboard. Now, you have a light switch here that turns those lights on and off. You have a crank which brings this board back and forth into focus. This crank down here moves this entire box up and down. That's the enlarging part. So if you had a small item like a postage stamp or something small that you wanted to enlarge to a poster size, you're going to crank this, and this brings it up and down depending, and then in concert with the other knob, which is moving this back and forth to focus, kind of working them both till you get the size that you want, or maybe it has to fit a certain paper size. This right here is the lens hood that actually reflects almost like a camera would down here. It looks like a dryer vent hood, kind of this triangular metal piece. And as I mentioned before, the crank here and the crank here are on chains. So because of that, I wouldn't recommend letting children use it, at least using it by themselves. It should be supervised. It is an open chain. It could catch clothing or fingers or what have you. But it's a lot of fun. My kids used it for doing their school projects. I would come down and we would work together and get them started. I think they learned a lot from it. But it is a big unit, and it's heavy, and it's steel, and you need space to house it, and that's a bit of a problem. But I just wanted to explain to people who are wondering. They see a lot of threads online showing projectors, and people say, what is this thing, and how do you use it? And I just wanted to share that with you. It's something I used back when I was a young artist. I still use it today on occasion. It doesn't replace a scanner or a computer. It's just another way of doing it. It's the old school way. I know a lot of people like to get back to doing things the old way. It's a great learning tool for anyone wanting to show young people how to do artwork.